Live. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. We are doing a great, we are covering a great topic today. I'm pretty excited about it, and that might seem silly to some of you, but for me, obviously, this is an emotion I strive to embody each and every day. This is an emotion that I have worked really hard myself towards embracing, whether it's for myself, others, all those things. But this is the final installment of our emotional journey. I know I said maybe that acceptance would be the very last emotion that we would cover together here, but when I really looked at it and when I really sat on it, I thought, no, we can't end it with acceptance. We have to end with love, because love is a many splendid things. Love lifts us up where we belong. There are probably going to be tons of song references within this topic today because there's so many of them. And I am, as I said, really excited to cover this with you. So let's get a move on, because I'm going to try to keep this short. I mean, I say that all the time, but do you really believe me at this point? Probably not. That's okay. So let's get to move on with the topic of love. And I'm going to break this down. I was going to make one comment, but I think I'll wait until later. Anyways, we're talking about love today. As I have said so many times, we've been on an emotional journey, a roller coaster of sorts. We started with shame, talking about shame. And not only were we talking about the emotions, we're actually talking about the vibrational output, or the frequency that emits from our body when we're in each of these specific emotions. We started with shame, which had a vibrational frequency of 20, and we are ending at love, which has a vibrational output of 500. And this does go all the way up to peace, but as I said, this felt like the natural place to kind of end. We will be moving on to a different topic in the next topic will be covering will be limiting beliefs. So we are moving on from this, but hopefully you have learned a lot from this journey. I know I have. And yes, let's talk about love. Again, love is all you need. Anyways, we're moving on from songs, or I'm going to get caught up in you. I'm just going to sing to you for the whole time we're chatting. No, we're not going to do that. Now, when I am talking about love, as I mentioned, the vibrational output is 500. My dog is trying to get in the room right now. I have tied the door off, so he's probably very upset with me. But if you can hear that rattling, that's him trying to get in. Anyways, when I'm speaking of love, the first thought that's probably going to come to your mind is that I'm talking about the being in love with another person, having a partnership, exchanging love between you and them, love for your child. And while yes, obviously that is a big part of the topic of love, what I'm really referring to in this particular case is love of self, love of humanity, love for other people, love for everything, nature, rocks, architecture, I'm talking about all encompassing love. And more importantly, I'm talking about moving and coming from and embodying this feeling of love and living from your heart space as opposed to from your head space. Because we all know what the head does. The head just feeds us all kinds of stories and tells us and fuels negative emotions, keeps us stuck and stagnant right where we are. But when we're moving from love, it's an entirely different way of being. And it's not only a blessing, it's a relief. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. We're going to talk about some ways that you can start embodying this way of being and this particular emotion in a really powerful way. So this live is for you if you want to start living life from a true place of love of all things, respect for one and all, because that's truly what love is all about. Having an understanding for and a respect for all other beings, despite whether or not you agree with them. Number 2, you want to embody love, because you've realized in going on this emotional journey that it's not just about a feeling, it's a way of being. Truly, it's a way of being. If your ultimate goal is to be in a state of love where you can forgive, where you can nurture, and you can support yourself and others, this is absolutely one you're going to want to stay tuned in for, because I'm going to get you a few ideas on how you can get there. If you're ready to increase your connection to your heart center, like I said, this is an increase of a connection to this incredible chakra, the heart chakra. You're really lifting yourself spiritually when you can connect to this place. And really for me, the journey towards embodying love was a spiritual one, because there's so many spiritual aspects. And I did do a live all about spiritual awakening that you can absolutely find. If you look in the history there, you will see it. It is probably just entitled a spiritual awakening, I believe. But anyways, if you want to see that, please message me and I will send you the link. If you want to learn about the power of love, how it unifies us all, breaking down the barriers of separation. This is so powerful, this particular topic. Love is inclusive. It unites us all. It truly does. And what this world needs more than anything else, more than any other emotion, is love, because we are in such a place of desperation, all of us. We are defeated, so many of us, with what's going on in the world, the state of the world, the back and forth between so many individuals. If we can increase our own ability to emanate love, we can have a profound impact on the collective consciousness. But again, I'll talk about that later. And if you're beyond ready to transmute negativity into love and come and work from a place of solace, I would highly encourage you to listen. So let's talk about a definition, which you're probably, like always, rolling your eyes at me. But this one was actually difficult, if I'm being honest, because I wanted to find a definition of love that felt good to me, that didn't just describe the love of partnership between partners or describe the love between two people or family. I wanted something that was all encompassing, this way of being a person that moves from a place of love or from this heart chakra. I'll probably be putting my hands in the heart chakra area many, many times during this topic. But yes, it was difficult for me because when I'm talking about love, I'm talking about unconditional love, being heart-centered and living from a space of love, of self, others, humanity. It's more of a spiritual way of being, as I mentioned, as opposed to just being in love. Just being in love doesn't do this topic as much justice as I would like it to. Anyways, I wanted to kind of differentiate between, what the traditional idea of love is, being rooted in various forms of infatuation, lust, affection, and ego-based neediness. That is what is important here. Sometimes when we are so strongly wanting to have love of a partner, it comes from a place of ego-based neediness. And this could stem from a lot of different places. This could stem from attachment with your parents. It could come from traumatic experiences when you were young, but it doesn't have to always remain that way. You can move out of that ego-based headspace neediness and move into this heart center and move from this heart-centered place. So ultimately, with all of this being said, the definition that felt most fitting to me anyways, and you can let me know in the comments if you agree, is that love means loving unconditionally, without conditions of any kind. No conditions. Love is just simply a way of being and being unconditional about it. So let's talk, because I'm saying love is unconditional, but I want to kind of break it down for you even further and talk about what conditional love looks like, so that you can do a self-reflection and a check-in, so okay, am I loving conditionally or am I loving unconditionally? So keep in mind, conditional love has to be earned. It's a what if. It has stipulations and it's not given freely. There's something associated with it. There's something tethered to it before you're willing to give it to somebody else. You're not just walking around a love being. No. You need something in return before you offer up that love. And that begs the question, truly, if you think about it, if it's conditional, is it really love? Think about that, truly. If it's based on conditions, if you providing your love to somebody is based on conditions. Now, as a caveat, I'm not talking about somebody earning your trust or, you building a relationship before you offer up love. That's a little bit of a different story. I'm talking about when you get to that point of being, or when you're moving through the world from a space of love. And remember, when we're talking about love, we're talking about love of all things. We're not just talking about love of a partner. We're talking about love of humanity and of self and all these things. So keep that in the back of your mind. Heart-centered love knows no bounds. It knows no bounds. Conditional love is restricted and limited. That is the key word here. The act of needing something in return for said love. So you can actually identify, and I'm going to give you a couple of statements here that you can refer to if you're coming from a place of conditional love or unconditional love. So if you're having kind of what if statements or only if statements. So I will only love you if ... I will only love you if you have the same beliefs as me. I will only love you if your values are identical to mine. I will only love you if you do things for me. I will only love you if you align your dreams with mine and we're on the same page. See, this is conditional love. This isn't just loving people for who they are, what they stand for, what their values are. It's loving them as a condition that it aligns with what you hold near and dear to your heart. And as human beings, really, we need love more than anything else in this world, and we are starved for love. We've all been divided. We've all been kept away from each other for so long. I mean, Granted, that is starting to improve slowly but surely, but I mean, it's been kind of, humans need connection. That is what we're here for. We are beings that need each other. And when we've been divided and separated for so long, that need for love becomes like just so detrimental to our overall health and well-being as a collective. And tapping into that unconditional love within yourself is imperative to your growth and wellness. Think about that. So often, and think about this for yourself too, think about how many times you're looking for external sources of love, but it's never going to be enough. Love is simply within you. It is there. It is within your being. It is there for you to tap into. It can be infinite, but you have to be willing to look within and to be willing to put aside the need to look externally for love, right? So hopefully that kind of clarifies the difference between conditional and unconditional love. And then we realize and we can see why the definition of love then becomes unconditional and how we can start moving into that place. So let's talk about some of the benefits of love. I mean, this would have been a really good Valentine's Day edition, but that's no matter. Also, before I move on to that, I'm going to just move this here. I'm wearing my Live in Love shirt, which felt very appropriate for today. I am a little bit hot in it, but that's okay. I can tough through that. No problem. Anyways, benefits of love. Holy cannoli. All right. So it is vital. And I had said this before. I opened up PowerPoint. Good times. It is vital to your physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual health and well-being. If you think back to when you were a child, any child, I mean, this might not be applicable to you, but if you have a guardian that does not show you love, that maybe they are navigating their own challenges around love, that have difficulties displaying love, if you didn't receive that as a child, it is likely caused some cognitive dissonance and cognitive issues within you that are probably going to be a challenge for you to begin embracing love. And if you're really having a difficult time watching this live and thinking about what it means to be unconditionally loving, take a look back and kind of, explore the root of that. But remember, you have an unconditional source of love within you. But many of you aren't quite aware of that. You haven't really uncovered that aspect of yourself yet. You could be living kind of in the past, tethered to the past, thinking about all the things that happened to you, feeling like you cannot forgive other people for the wrongs they've done for you. And until you can start to move past that, start to heal through it, it will be very difficult to come into a space of love, but we will get there. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey, right here, right now. You can get there if you want to. You have the capacity and the ability. And another amazing benefit is by the time you get to this vibrational output of love at 500, you're just emanating it from your whole body. Your overall satisfaction and happiness grows substantially. It's exponentially growing because the ego isn't running the show anymore. To move from a space of love is recognizing the difference between the ego, fear-based mind, and coming and being in the space of love, right? And as you do this, and you'll know you're getting there because love will become less conditional. It will become, you'll start to say less, I will love you if only. You'll stop rather. Can't speak today. You'll stop looking at it that way, but rather you'll come from a place of acceptance, which is why that ties the two together. We talked about acceptance before. Now we're talking about love, right? It becomes a way of life, a natural way of being, truly. And it's a marvel when this begins to happen. But it does take work. I want you to know that. It does take work. And by embracing love as a way of life, you increase collective consciousness of humanity. And you probably want to know what that means. If we think about, and I wish I had this study in front of me, and I wish I just know this, particular study was done where they had a group of individuals meditating together, and they were sending this vibration of love into the community. And I don't know how they were testing this. #science. I don't know, but they were able to actually do a test and run a test. And through that group meditation where they were feeding love into the community, their output, other people's output, it was increasing. Their vibration was rising. People were happier. So there is a power in embracing love as a way of life. And it might not seem like much. You might think, hey, I'm just doing this for myself. I want to feel better. But in doing so, you're actually having an impact on all of humanity because it vibrates. And that increase in vibration, the more people do it, the more it uplifts everybody else around them. It can have a powerful and profound impact on everybody. So it's another really incredible benefit that's not just about you, but about everybody else. You no longer require others, items, things, possessions to feel like you love life. It's driven from your own heart. This is actually something interesting that happened to me as I started coming to this place of, unconditional love, was that I used to feel like I needed things, clothes, items, new items to feel love, to feel excited, to feel special, to feel happy. So I was just spending money, like just bleeding money out of my pockets in this effort to try and get some sort of happiness or feel some type of way in my own life. But once I came to this space of love, it's like that just seemed frivolous. I mean, yeah, it is always nice to buy yourself something new and treat yourself every now and again. That's certainly not to be frowned upon, but it's not like you need those things. You don't need the love of somebody else to feel love within yourself. You can embody it and you can tap into your own wealth of love within you. And when that starts to happen, your entire attitude shifts. Truly, when you start to move from a place of love. The way in which you view others, the world around you is far different. It's like you start to see things through rose-colored glasses, but in a really good way, as opposed to, I know that's usually used as a way to, like, when we put on rose-colored glasses, we can't see the world for what it is. But when you're moving from a space of love, it's like you see things differently and you'll never go back. Never, ever go back. And one of the things, interestingly enough, when I start working with clients, one of the ways we start to tap into this and embody love is by, obviously when I'm dealing with different women, a lot of them come from a different space. Some of them have been hurt in the past before. And one of the activities I get them to do is just, if somebody has hurt you, slowly but surely start to get curious about what's happened to them. What's their past been like? What has happened in their own life to cause them to then cause pain to other people? And to send love instead of anger towards them. Send them love. Send their little selves that are desperately needing love. Send them love as opposed to sending them anger or hate or anything else, right? And a personal example of this for me, I mean, obviously, if you've been around here for some time, you know maybe I was married previously. I thought this was like it and all that stuff, and he really struggled with infidelity, and I had hate in my heart for a really long time, and I spent a lot of time being hurt. Now I look at it differently. Now I can see the bigger picture of why he is the way he is, and now I can send him love and hope that he finds his own way. I don't know where he is. I don't know, what he's doing, what he's up to, but every now and again I send him love because, he obviously needs it, because he had this ability to hurt somebody that loved him so deeply. And there's lots of undercover reasons why, but that's just kind of a personal example. I thought I'd just slip right in there. Anyways, another amazing benefit is the idea of forgiveness. And I know forgiveness is hard. I've had to do a lot of forgiving in my life. And I held on to a lot of grudges. I held on to a lot of hurt and pain for way longer than I needed to. Forgiveness is powerful. Forgiveness comes from a place of love, and it doesn't come easy, but it's not for the other person, it's for you. It is for you. And the more you can move from a space of love, and the more you can embody this heart-centered space and come from here every single day, the easier it becomes to forgive, because you realize it's not about the other person. It's not that you're letting them off the hook. You're never letting somebody off the hook when you're forgiving them. You're simply recognizing that maybe they need that forgiveness and maybe you need it too. It's about you. And it's about recognizing that they have their own stories, their own experiences, and sending them love. And remember, everybody has a journey. Everybody has a journey. And it is up to all of us to recognize and no longer see individuals for their unlovable or their undesirable actions, and see those as wrongdo as having their own stories, their own experiences that have shaped them. And holding on to anger and the inability to forgive does not hold you back. Forgiveness is for you, not for others. I think I read that wrong. Holding on to anger and the inability to forgive does nothing but hold you back. There we go. Forgiveness is for you, remember, not for them. And unconditional love equals joy. It does. Oh, I could get emotional. It really does. And I want that for you more than anything. So let's experience the world through the lens of love. Let's talk about some of the ways that we can start embodying this powerful emotion and harness it for yourself. And believe me, I know if you're watching this, it's going to be difficult. For some of you, tapping into love is going to be hard. And it's not always easy coming into a place of true and unconditional love if you've been wronged, if you have been through tragic experiences in your own life, if you've been through trauma, if you've been hurt so deeply and it's broken your heart, it's hard to even consider or think about coming from a place of love. And feeling it having it feel impossible is completely valid. And I want to validate you. It takes a lot of internal work, a lot of growth, a lot of development and experience to come to this place where you move from a place of love. And I keep referring to that, moving from a place of love, embodying love. It's a state of being. It's not a state of, what was I going to say? It's a state of being as opposed to just, I love this person, I love that thing, I love these items. It's a state of being. My dog is trying to get in again. Felix, you're going to have to wait. So even when you get to this point in your personal journey, this point where you're moving from love, it's a consistent practice. It's consistent dedication. It's remembering it over and over and over again. Believe me, sometimes I get caught up and I get, tied up in feeling some type of way about somebody, but I have to remember and I have to think about and I have to get curious about their own experiences and what they're going through and why they act and behave the way they do. And then I can more easily send them love, send them compassion, send them kindness, because that's what we need more than anything in this world right now. And before we move on to how to start embodying love, I want you to know that wherever you are on your journey right now towards love is okay. It is okay. You can and will get to this point. It is within you. It is possible, but it takes courage, it takes bravery, and it takes internal work to be able to get there. But truly and honestly, it is only when you embrace unconditional love that you can truly unlock the peace, the joy, and the universal freedom you long for and you deserve. Remember that. So let's move into some of the ways you can embody love. One of the biggest ways is to experience your emotions. Think about even from a young age when you're told, oh, don't cry, and crying is for babies, and don't do this, don't feel your emotions. You begin to learn to shut them down. But emotions are beautiful. And until you can start to feel them, recognize them, label them, no matter what the emotion is, whether it's shame, anger, grief, sadness, whatever that emotion is, you need to be able to feel into it. Because until you can feel and identify what that is within your own body, how can you feel what love feels like, right? You don't have to put on a brave face and not show your emotions any longer. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to laugh, laugh. Whatever it is you need to do, tap into it and recognize that whatever you're experiencing is beautiful. You don't have to put that mask on anymore. Each and every feeling you have, good, bad, indifferent, is an emotion you're meant to feel. So feel it. Feel it in your body. Identify what it feels like. And know that every emotion has a message. The body is a magical thing. Honestly, I'm just blown away by what the body does and the power of what the body can do for you. Consider any emotion, no matter what it is, a message. And look within. What is this trying to tell me? What is this trying to show me? What am I being internally guided to look at right now? Especially if it's emotions like sadness or grief or despair, anger, things like that. Another great way, and this is a great segue into embodying love, is to reconnect to the body. And I believe I spoke about this in one of my other videos, the body, mind, and soul connection. We can identify our mind. We know our body, but are they connected? Reconnect to the body, right? Because we spend so much time focusing on external factors that it doesn't leave you any extra time. Like, think about all the things you have to do. I have to do this, I have to do that. Even today, I have a really busy schedule ahead of me, but when we're focusing more on the to-dos and the lists, it leaves us little time to tap into what the body's trying to tell you. So when you're feeling pain or discomfort, tightness or heaviness within the body, take a moment to recognize, what is this trying to tell me? That mind-body connection will support you in your growth and development. It will support you in growing and being able to move from a place of love and appreciation and inner peace. And you'll be far better equipped to find that inner peace if you are connected to the body, connected to the heart. We really have to tap in and know what that feels like. Number 3 is embrace self-love. This is a tough one, gang. This is a tough one. I know it, you know it, we all know it. But to do this, you need to become the observer in your own life without judgment, because negative thoughts are going to continue to come up. We've talked a lot about negative thoughts. There's a video on negative thoughts as well too you can look up. You are not your thoughts. But negative thoughts are habitual. So as they come up, don't necessarily believe it because it's just on autopilot. It's just pressing play for you, right? You are not your thoughts. That is not your identity. It is not who you are. So if the negative thought comes up, I want you to find evidence that proves it wrong and do it without judgment. Then give yourself a hug afterwards and embrace self-love, because you need to love yourself unconditionally to be able to truly embody this place of love for all things. Number 4 is get curious. Are you a person that loves with conditions? When I was talking about the I will love you if only ... did that resonate with you? Did that apply to you? And do you expect something in return from other people in order for them to gain your love? Get curious as to ways you can identify that and how you can start opening your heart slowly but surely, how you can step into that. And this is a work in progress. I'm not going to lie. It's not always going to be easy, but start small. Ask yourself, especially if somebody has wronged you, how can I find love in my heart for X, Y, and Z who has hurt me? Like I was talking about my ex-partner. How can I find love for him? I understand his story. I understand what he went through, that he was hurt so deeply and he hasn't processed that. I will send him love and hope that he will find his way. Small things, baby steps, teeny tiny steps, right? Another great way is to practice acts of kindness. Don't discount this. Can you extend a compliment to a stranger? Can you extend an act of kindness to somebody else? Can you help a senior with putting groceries in their car? Can you hold a door for somebody? Can you smile at someone that looks like they're down? Acts of kindness have been proven to uplift your mood, to help you and support you embody love. Because when you see another person benefit from your act of kindness, it's an instant lift. It's an instant lift. And the more you do it, the more you practice, it compounds on itself, one after another after another. And the more you do it, the more you offer acts of kindness to other people, even if they're strangers, the more uplifted you'll feel. And the more you'll want to be moving in this heart space, because it feels so much better than just sticking your head down and doing your thing and not connecting to anybody. It'll help you feel the love. Can you feel the love tonight? There's another one. Number 6 is finding forgiveness. We talked about this one. We probably talked about it a lot. Forgiveness is freedom. It is untethering you from continuing to feel these lower vibrational emotions, and includes having forgiveness for yourself as well. I really want to make that clear. Maybe you've violated your boundaries so much and you've let people stomp on you and step on you and let them just treat you like you're nothing. Have you violated those boundaries so deeply that you are now feeling like you've let yourself down? Find forgiveness of the self too. Self-forgiveness is really important. You didn't know what you didn't know. You were only doing the best you could in that moment. So you need to tell yourself, it's okay. I release the burden of all of the mistakes I made in the past and I step into love instead. You can release that in having forgiveness for yourself. And number 7, simply be. Love yourself for exactly where you are in this moment, right now, without judgment. You are where you are for a reason. Trust it. You're here to learn a lesson. It's what you do now that matters most, right? Love and cherish all aspects of yourself. Even if you're not your proverbial attractive or positive traits, you need to have love for those as well, because they're there to teach you. They are there to act as a lesson. And remember, being perfect is an absolute freaking fallacy. It's a fallacy in your head. And if you're a Rent fan, you would get that line. Anyways, Rent is a musical if you didn't know. There's truly no such thing as perfection. What makes us incredible human beings is our uniqueness, our individuality, the fact that nobody is perfect, yet we're all trying to attain it, which makes no sense because there's no such thing. Even if you can think of the most perfect person in your head, if you could peer behind the curtain and see what they were up to, you would probably recognize and realize that they weren't necessarily perfect. They just put on a really good show. So knowing perfection doesn't exist will allow you to have love for yourself, will allow you to simply be where you're at right here, right now. Right? And love others simply for who they are. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to like them. You don't have to agree with what they say, what they believe in, all those things, but you can still send them love because everybody deserves it. Everybody. Even the most troubled individuals, maybe they need it more than anything. Maybe they truly need it more than anything. Think about their stories. Think about the most troubled individuals you know and ask yourself, why are they so troubled? Maybe they were lacking love. Maybe they lacked love as a child and they need it more than anything else to be able to grow. And just a little bit of love can go a long way. The path towards unconditional love is continuous and vast. Truly. There will be times where it comes easy. There will be times when it's more difficult. But trust, love, be, and find peace. Whew. I'm feeling the love. Hopefully you are too. And honestly, if you're struggling with coming into a place of love, if this is a struggle for you, that you are, you've built a wall around your heart and you're having difficulty breaking down that wall and you want to investigate that and go deeper with it, please reach out. Extend a hand. Ask a question. I'm here to support in any way I can. But with that, I hope you have the most wonderful day. And again, if you have any questions, drop a comment. I would be happy to engage with you. But with that, I will talk to you next time. We'll see you soon.